Today on Hey Culligan, sustainability and better water. Here's Sam.
Hey Culligan, I'm really into sustainability. My clothes, my utensils, my food. But how do I get more sustainability from my water?
Super question, Sam, and the answer is an always-on drinking water system from Culligan, which helps eliminate the equivalent of 15 billion single-use plastic bottles a year.
Whoa, that's a ton of sustainability.
416,000 tons, Sam, and we're already on the way. Let us help you out with a free in-home water test with the local Culligan water expert at Culligan.com.
W284AD, New Albany, Louisville. For 70 years of serving the African American community. 104.7 FM.
You are listening to The Tipping Point Show with your host, Mr. Just Ask Joe, John Yeah. Right here on WLOU. Stream it live on Facebook and WLOUonline.com. And now, The Tipping Point Show.
What is going on, folk? What's going on, people? This is your boy, Mr. Just Ask Joe, as well as my brother from another mother, Brother John Ya, Esoteric Concepts. How you doing there, family?
Peace, brother. I'm great, man. How about yourself this morning?
Oh, man, I'm doing pretty good, man. I know I didn't get give the exciting, exuberant intro that I normally do, but I'm in a hotel in Chicago and just trying to not blast my hotel neighbors with the sound that I usually give. So you know, I'm trying to be a little bit more low key, but I do want to let everyone know, you know, today we've got a range of topics. So if you want to call in and you want to poly with us on any of these topics, once again, 502-776-1350. Again, that's 502-776-1350. Call in, you know, we can converse about any topic. If you got questions or anything like that, then again, 502-776-1350. If you want to take us with you, then remember WLOUonline.com. Again, that's WLOUonline.com. You can listen to the show online, as well as check us out on Facebook at the Tipping Point Radio Show or the Tipping Point Show. You can check us out online live there as well. YouTube, hashtag the Tipping Point Morning Show, and you will check us there also. I want to give a shout out to Frank Stoner, Grand Rising there, brother. Layla, the educator, Hampton, Grand Rising. She says, Grand Rising gods and goddesses to all you amazing people out there. So I tell you what, man, I love it. I love it. I love it. So once again, welcome radio listeners out there. We're gonna go through a range of topics here, and you know, from racial inequality, are we there yet? Blue collar versus white collar, which is better for our community? The job market, will people go back to work? Mask mandates again, is the jab working? Are the vaxxed superheroes or super spreaders? Who in the Black community is speaking up for the non-vaxxed? Hospitals and healthcare providers like Nortons and Humana are forcing even the stay-at-home employee to get vaxxed. Is it right? Will the pandemic, or let's see, the pandemic is breaking up families. Is that okay? Daniel Cameron going against the governor to block mask mandates.
My hero.
Hey.
My hero.
Hey, you would talk about him as your hero, as well as your boy, Rand, right?
Yes. Oh, no doubt. No doubt.
Because Rand, what's his full name? Is it Rand Paul?
Rand Paul. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's dealing. He's another one, which is interesting because his wife, you know, and they tried to pull this out. Oh, your wife has a big stake in the pharmaceutical industry and vaccines and this, that, and the other. Well, so does anybody else who's into the market and smart. You know, shoot, I had to go back and look and see what the Moderna price tag is, but I mean, man, I got in when it was like $60. The price has fluctuated tremendously since then. I had to look it up during the show there. But how's your week been, man?
Man, it's been good. Of course, you know, it's always been a lot of things trying to distract you. And it's very interesting. I was in one of my stores. It's an Ethiopian-owned store. And so the first thing, you know, he wants to show me what was on his phone, what's going on in Afghanistan. He said, look at this, look at this. And so he said, did you know? I said, no, actually, brother, I don't watch the news. He said, you don't watch the news. I said, listen, man. I said, you sound like just the regular black people here in this country. It seems like you allow yourself to be distracted with stuff that don't even got nothing to do with us here. I said, what you should be worried about is them putting down these mandates and blocking people from going into these restaurants. That's what you should be concerned about. But I see that it's like a distraction, and everybody's everybody right now is on board with this, what's going on in Afghanistan. And it seems like they always do this, and they do it very well. We fall for it like kids play. They'll sprinkle whatever they want to sprinkle in front of us, right? And now here we are debating whether or not is the Democrats doing a good job now, right? So all the black people who voted for Democrats, now they're saying, well, what do you think now, right? Here we are still at this distraction, but they're making laws that are breaking up families. I received information from people that I know that works for Humana, and they're working from home, and they thought they were safe. Well, now Humana sent them a letter saying, hey, you got to come in and get this vaccine. I heard a family member in California talk about that they had their family members come in town, and they would want to go to this fancy restaurant and introduce their family members in town to this restaurant. But all of them couldn't get in because all of them didn't have a vaccine card. Well, guess what? One of the family members said, well, so what? They just have to sit outside. And the head of the family, probably the mother or something, said, no, we're not going to do none of our family members like that. None of us going to eat here. And this is what's happening here, this division. Those of you who have taken this shot, you are already convinced, right? And here now you are so deep on that side, you don't want to be an advocate for those who don't want to take the shot. Instead, you're in agreement with what the government wants to do to people who don't want to take the shot. And that's a shame, because you know why? That splits us up even more. Not only do we already have a division amongst ourselves to try to come together, now we Democrat and Republican. If you are Republican, you over there. If you a black Democrat, you over here. Now it's going to be about the vaccine. And I saw it coming. And no one in the black community is speaking up for black people that who don't want to take it. And this is why I love talking to those. I love being on Clubhouse, because I'm meeting with a lot of people who are rejecting it for many reasons and for many new evidence that's coming out that this is causing all kind of illnesses and blood clots in people, right? But what we have to do is we have to find a way to come together. Listen, I have to only advocate and try to speak to those who don't want to take it and reluctant, so that we can talk about what we need to do about our health. I heard some sisters was on the Clubhouse talking about, well, what they're going to do about their school. Well, what was the answer? Homeschool. Get your kid out of public school anyway. Why are you sending your child to public school in the first place?
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
And so the problem is we don't want to fix our own problem because we love these white people so much. We'll just wait until they dangle something in our face, and then we'll get so distracted that we forget right now and there, this is going to be the next Afghanistan if you don't pay attention. Not what's going on over there, what's going on right here. If you don't pay attention, this is going to be the next Afghanistan.
Man, it's a trip, man, when you say that. You know, I'll be honest, I'm sitting here laughing at this picture that you shared on Facebook, and then I shared it as well. But it is a picture for those that can't see. It's a picture of somebody talking to another person. They're facing each other, and it's a cartoon picture. There's a person with the mask on, and that person looks very sick, right? And in their conversation bubble, it says, "This is because you haven't gotten yours yet."
Exactly.
Now,
Exactly.
what's interesting about that is that moves to one of the topics there. Um, are the vaccinated, are they superheroes or super spreaders?
According to CDC and Fauci, they are now the super spreaders, and this is why they are pushing it even more to take the shot. If you took the shot, why you got to wear a mask? You still have to wear a mask. You know why? Because you're going to affect those who have not taken the shot. But here's what's most important: pay attention to your DNA changing. Right now, you can Google this. Google this if you don't believe it. Right now, you can't give blood or plasma if you've taken the shot.
Exactly.
They're asking for people who have not taken the shot to give blood. And those of you who have, your blood is actually now no good.
Exactly. I mean, blood and plasma was always something for years that we've always needed. It's always something that is needed. Um, I guess they haven't figured out how to make synthetic blood yet. I guess I don't know, which is interesting because they figured out how to make synthetic melanin, but not synthetic blood. But either way, with that in mind, uh, you're right. They cannot give plasma or blood anymore, which is sad. And it's starting to fall in line with some of the things that some of these doctors have been saying, some of these scientists have been saying all along, that there's going to be some serious repercussions of this mRNA gene therapy that is going on, that they mask as vaccines. Isn't that funny? They mask this gene therapy as a vaccine when
Ain't that something?
by definition, it's not a vaccine. Once again, folks, 502-776-1350. If you want to call in and you want to chime in on this conversation, come on in. Don't worry. We don't ridicule people or anything. We respect your comment, but we will talk about the comment and the conversation. If you want to chime in, 502-776-1350.
Listen. Even if you are vaccinated, tell us what you feel about those who are not vaccinated. Do you feel that they should be shunned out of society and not allowed to come into restaurants? And listen, it's going to go further than that. It's going to push towards transportation. You're not going to be able to get on planes. You're not going to be able to
public
get on
transportation.
buses.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
So people better get ready. And so what do you feel about your own family members or your own people, that is, that have not taken the vaccine? Because surely there are family members breaking up right now over this whole thing. And what do you think of that? So please call on in and tell us what you think.
Exactly. We want to hear from you, because again, 502-776-1350. We want to know, from the vaccinated to the non-vaccinated, we want to know what's on your mind about this. What do you think about Daniel Cameron? Again, no, we just chimed in on that, but Daniel Cameron going against the governor to block mask mandates. Like you said, for those of us that are preaching against the vaccines, then he's a hero in a sense. But it's kind of ironic that he's the one pushing up against this. It makes sense, from understanding who he is and what he is. But the ironic part about it is, due to the Breonna Taylor situation, he is not going to be well received at all. So it's a we look at this, you look at the uh some of the other thoughts that I had in this conversation today, right? Who in the Black community is actually speaking up for the non-vaccinated? I saw a post, Tank, the singer, who he spoke out, right? He made a video on Instagram, and he was speaking out saying, "Hey, people need to make sure that we don't allow them to force us. It should be your choice." It's funny when it comes to uh, killing off a baby or a fetus, then it's your body, your choice. But when it comes to allowing a synthetic chemical or ingredient that you know nothing about, that has plenty of smoke revolving around it, which wherever there's smoke, there's typically fire. We can't use that our body, our choice thing, right? So
Wow.
it's just interesting where our priorities are at as a people, as a human people in general right now. That's interesting. Now, healthcare providers like Nortons and Humana, they're forcing even their stay-at-home employees to get vaxxed. I mean, is that right? What do you think about that, there, John?
Well, again, I think a lot of people thought they were safe. Definitely working from home. A lot of them applied for working from home instead of going in the office. And I think what is being pushed is that the companies are being pushed into this. Well, Michigan just passed a bill, or maybe they sent a bill. I think I posted that information where they're blocking employees from doing that. So the employees cannot, I repeat, cannot stop you or make you wear a mask. And so that's what they're doing in Michigan. We got to pay attention to the pushback, and there is going to be a pushback. Not only that, I'm hoping that it continues to be a pushback until this is over with. What I mean when I say over with, when this masquerade of what is going on and all the lies come out, and then people begin to see it. I think that's when we'll be safe. Right now, they're even pushing it even harder. They're trying to get everyone in on this before what? Before they begin to find out the truth about it. And I just want to be patient. Just like any other pharmaceutical drugs out there, over a large percent of those, majority of those drugs that are approved are recalled. If you don't know, Google that. And here's the thing: we're right now in over almost a year now with a thing called a vaccine, and the FDA has not approved it to be a vaccine or to be any good for you. So imagine, do you know the people that are working for the FDA? Do you think they're taking the vaccine? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. They're
Well, I
not
mean,
going to put
we
that
saw
plug in
we
there.
saw the one of the heads of Pfizer who couldn't get into another country or something. They couldn't go attend some meeting or something because he was not fully vaccinated. I think so again, a lot of these people are not. I mean, even with healthcare workers, there's a lot of doctors and nurses that are not taking it, and I've heard
Not taking
from a lot of their own mouths that some said, you know what, I'll wait some years down the road before I begin
yes.
to take it. So,
Right. Oh, we got a caller.
Caller on the line, come on and talk to us. Welcome to the Tipping Point Morning Show. How you doing, caller?
Hey, how you doing, man? This is Uncle Me, Sean. How y'all doing?
Good. How you doing, man?
All right. I'm not going to come in and be emotional. I'm just going to come in and talk about from your perspective what y'all said, because I am a surgical technologist for 40 plus years, and I am part of those healthcare providers that has been forced or were forced to participate in taking, because I'm a surgical technologist. How I make my income, how I make my money. My wife works for Humana, and she's a stay at home. My wife's been a stay at home for almost 15 years. I've been a surgical technologist now for over 40 plus years. I make my money. Because we make a six-figure income plus how we make our money. Now, all I want to say, I hear all y'all intelligence, I hear all what y'all saying and everything, but I just want to say, it just makes me hearten me that I see the information out there. It makes me a little scary too. But both of us in this house, so we took our shots and everything. I talked to. I'm not an ignorant person. I'm not stupid. Okay, I'm not crazy, and I'm not a person that does not know my God. I love my God. I hate the idea of people trying to make it think you are less godly or you're not less faithful because you have taken this test. All I want to say is that we are in some interesting times. Okay, don't know where we're going, okay, but I'm tracking it. And I just wanted to say thank you all for y'all conversation. I think it's a very interesting time. I just wanted to love on you all and let you know I appreciate y'all, man. But unfortunately, my wife and I have taken the time. Yes, we have been forced into taking it because, bottom line is, I got to make my money. I got to do what I got to do, and I got to suffer the consequences for whatever that is. All right.
So let me.
Mishan, don't go nowhere. Hold up.
And yeah, and
go ahead.
I got a quick question. You said,
yes, sir.
You said you said because that's how I gotta make my money. I gotta do. So were you forced? Did they tell you get the shot?
Oh no, I was no. Before the force came along, no, I wasn't forced. I have I'm a surgical technologist, so I'm fortunate to be in the company of not just surgeons, but I'm in the company of scientists. So one day in the operating room is 30 of us, way before all nurses, all healthcare people, they had, they had none of us. I just want you to think, this thing just didn't happen way before, they were trying to tell everybody else to do it. We, healthcare, we told them not no, but F no. Okay, we not doing nothing. And you can't, what? And the hot, I don't know if you understand, the operating room is the moneymaker in the hospitals, in all hospitals, okay?
That's right.
And so the whole industry of operating care around the world said no, period. I don't know if y'all understand that, okay? So we had a scientist, we had people who came to us and had a conversation with us, okay? And intellectual, not no emotional. I didn't make my decision based on just someone just no. I made my decision based on the science of someone who's way much smarter than me. Listen, I'm just a surgical technologist, okay? These people are way smarter than me. And they sit down, not just me, but over 30, 40 of us in the operating room and explain some things. So all I'm saying, it makes me angry sometimes that people make it seem like, we just, people have made decisions like we're just sheep and cattle. I'm not that foolish, okay?
Right. Let me ask you this: with all the information that is coming out, with doctors that are coming out, with the scientists that are coming out, with even the one that created the mRNA coming out, all this information coming out, and I know you're hearing it. I guess what I want to ask you, I know you said that it kind of scares you too. How do you feel about that? Do you now? And when I'm asking you this question, I'm asking you this for those who are listening that have not taken the shot. So when you say that kind of scares you too, tell us about that thought that you're hearing that kind of frightens you.
And John, that is a very, and I'm gonna try to hold it together because that's a very good question. Because my wife and I have, laid in bed together, and we are intelligent people. We are not stupid, okay? We reading, we listening to the information, and we have, questioned even ourselves. Okay, have we been led down astray, or what's going on? Because I'm a spiritual person, and all I can say to those people, I'm scared, I'm nervous, because I hear this thing. I'm a conservative. I've been conservative for almost 40 years, and the intel and information. I'm not a liberal. I'm a conservative. I don't get it done, but I get intel, and I'm a military. I'm a senior military person. So, John, I'm even getting intel that I can't even talk about on the air. Okay, I'm getting intel, information, and everything that even the average person. So I have even deeper intel that makes me, question. And so that's why I say everybody got to make their own decision, and then whatever that decision is, you got to deal with the consequences of what it is, but you got to make the decision. So I don't know if that answers you. I cannot. What I won't do is do a scare tactic. I won't do a fear tactic. I'm not going to do that. Okay.
Great.
Absolutely, man. Well, thank you for calling in, Uncle Mishon. Shout out to you and my brother there with the show. You guys have a new show coming out it's every Tuesday
Oh
morning,
yes,
9 a.m. Right?
every Tuesday, yes sir. Every Tuesday is now
You and Ray Ali.
me and my two partners. Yeah.
Brother
We
5G, The
we call
Truth, and Uncle Michon.
yes, yes sir. Truth be told.
Hey, Mishan, let me ask you another question. Do you have any family members that you're close to that are not taking the shot, and what do you feel about that?
Oh, brother, golly, John, you just all up down my alley this morning. Yes, do I have family members? I just made contact with my new family member that I've been disconnected with for 55 years, and then my little brother that I hadn't seen, he just called me. We've been connected. He's also a healthcare provider. He took the thing, but his wife wouldn't take it, and just now, his wife just a few days ago came down with the COVID, and they both then came down with it, and now it has they whole household is quarantined. I got a grandmother who's 101 years old. She came down with the COVID and beat it and overcame it. Okay, 101 years old. So to answer your question, yes, I got it on both sides and everything. People denied to take it. And people
but what I guess what I was getting at was that family members are splitting up over it. You know, I'm hearing you can't come to the barbecue.
Okay, to answer your question, yes, sir. Family members, that was my brother and him and his wife. They married for 27 years and everything, and they were split over it. She was denying to take it, and he decided he would take it. Now, they both got it.
So in the end, it didn't make a difference.
Right? Yeah. That's what's interesting. In the end, they both got. Now here's the difference. She is having serious problems. Okay, and he's not. He's a little sick, but he's not as sick as she. Okay, I'm not telling anybody anything. All I do know is
that's all relative to each individual person.
That's all relative. Yeah, that's all relative.
My parents down in South Florida, they're just getting over it. My stepmother is a doctor, and my grandmother. They both are very healthy people, and they went through the same exact symptoms that I went through. They both are vaccinated. But they went through the same exact symptoms I went through when I had it and got over it in just the same amount of time as I did. What's interesting is that, almost a week to 2 weeks later, he's still testing positive, which according to the doctors, you can still test positive time after. But, I don't know what that says about the test, considering you had some people who were taking the test and they'd be positive in one nostril, negative in another nostril, so even those tests come into question just the same. But either way, it's an interesting conversation. But I think it all is going to come down to any other virus. How is your health? Your health is going to be the determining factor as to you getting over it or not, because, hey, in the beginning, before the vaccine, they said if we get the vaccine, everything's going to be all good. Well, we got the vaccine, and guess what? Now they're going back to mask mandates because the numbers are spiking. And what a lot of doctors and scientists are saying is, oh, you know what? We forgot about the fact that, this has a lot to do with getting rid of antibodies or something in the system. And, we're spiking again because of the vaccine. And from my understanding, we're talking about degrading people's immune system, making them more susceptible. And now the CDC is calling people who are vaccinated super spreaders of the vaccine. So I mean, either or, it's everybody's choice. And that's where I draw the line and say, look, this should just be a choice, as it always has been, that people have to decide whether or not they want to get a vaccine. You know, I haven't gotten a flu vaccine since I was a kid. You know, never found it necessary to do so anymore. My body knows the flu. Right now, my body knows the COVID-19. Why? Because I've had it already. My body knows it. So it can fight it off a lot better now that I've gone through it. And the scientists is saying now that, hey, if you've got it, if you got COVID and you got over it, guess what? You are better off than those that did not get COVID and got vaccinated.
So here, listen, I'm just going to add this little last conversation to it and let it do what it do. Because you both said something. Okay, my grandma, 101 years old.
Shout out to your grandma. Big shout out to your grandma for I mean, that is a big shout out right there. 100 and something years old, and you get COVID. Let me tell you something. You make it to 100 years old anyway. You got something. You doing something right anyway. All right, and she looks vibrant and all that stuff, right? So you make it to 100 years old, you're doing something right. You make it to 100 years old and you get the scary COVID-19, you know, you beat it. You obviously doing something. Right. All right, brother Michon, listen, we got another caller on the line.
Appreciate you, Michon.
Take care now.
All right, caller, welcome again to the Tipping Point Morning Show. Welcome, man.
Hello?
How you doing there, caller?
I'm doing just fine.
All right, fantastic. What's on your mind?
Well, I have had the shots, and I think that people that haven't need to pay more attention to the news, because 90% of the people that are dying are people that haven't had the shot. And how someone who supposedly loves their children can fight a mask mandate, and that's the only thing that they have going for them, since they don't have a vaccine available for children.
But why would they need a vaccine available for children when children are 99.98% survival rate when it comes to this whole virus? They're 99. The survival rate for children is 99.98%. Children don't need to be vaccinated. And remember, in the beginning of this, we were calling kids little bioterrorists.
Sir, that's like saying children don't need to be vaccinated against measles or polio, and that's not so.
I ain't seen measles or polio. And
well, so let me ask you this question, sir. So
just,
now,
saying that they don't need to be vaccinated against COVID is like saying they don't need to be vaccinated against measles or polio, and that's cool.
But they are not as susceptible to getting sick, which is why children have a 99.98% survival rate of the COVID. They don't deal with the symptoms like we do. In the beginning of this, they were talking about how all the kids were spreading it around and not getting sick. And now all of a sudden we want to vaccinate.
Children are dying these days because they've come in contact with persons with COVID and they have no vaccination against it.
Right. So let me ask you this question. And I understand that you said you've already taken the vaccine, and definitely I wish you well in your journey. So what about family members who have not taken the vaccine? Do you feel you have to alienate yourself away from your own family members?
My feelings are the same with the family members, friends, or strangers. But you're not having it and you're mixing it in with the general public, you're spreading it.
So what would you say to what would you say to the idea?
I wish, personally, I wish they would have a shot mandate.
What would you say?
And I can't understand the medical personnel that are fighting against it.
Well, maybe it's because
seeing what's going on every day. They got nurses that are leaving the field because too many nurses and doctors are coming down with it, and they don't want it.
Right. So what do you say to those who are doctors, who are scientists that actually studied medicine, I mean, is there such thing as a second opinion, or you just accept? I mean, it's always been that if you had a disease or something, or you had a situation that your doctor told you, and everyone would say, go get a second opinion. Is there something wrong with a second opinion? Is there something wrong with not believing wholly in what you're just told, just because your doctor told you that? Is there something wrong with asking for a second opinion?
No, there's nothing wrong with it.
I was going to say, because see, I had COVID. Right, see, I had COVID twice.
But they have, a lot of them have that ego problem where they're the only one that's right.
Well,
they know more than someone else.
So
wouldn't
that be the case for the same doctors who are for the vaccine? Wouldn't they still be in the same mix of people that have that ego problem? I mean, I've always thought that traditional MDs have a God complex anyway, but respectfully, that would be the same. Well, think about it. If you can say that they have an ego problem when they're talking against the vaccine, then wouldn't doctors who are talking for the vaccine have an ego problem just the same?
In a manner of speaking, but it's a different thing. The ones that are supporting it, that have had it, they're using their medical knowledge to advance and save lives. That's what doctors and nurses are trained to do. And to tell you that you don't need to get vaccinated, and I'm not going to get vaccinated, the doctors aren't doing what they were trained to do.
Well, I can tell you.
And then as far as Daniel Cameron goes, he is the black boy of Mitch McConnell.
Okay.
I can't understand how he can stand there and fight after all of these Supreme Court decisions going against him earlier, where he was trying to stop the mask mandates and the vaccines and whatnot. And it just doesn't make sense to me.
Right. So you are okay with the separation of those who've taken the vax and not taken the vax. I get that. And it's very interesting because you can only internalize those things you are already in agreement with. No matter how many facts someone brings you, you will not agree with it because you will not internalize it.
I didn't say anything about separating those, the haves or the have-nots.
You're sure you did. You just, when I said that, it mentioned about those who don't want to take it, you think that everyone should be a mandate to make everyone take it. So if people don't take it, what are you saying? A mandate means there's going to be some type of punishment behind it of those who don't take it. So you have to be for it if that's what you're saying. You want a mandate. See, mandate is laws. And so there's a punishment behind the mandate. There is a there's something coming behind it if you don't follow that. So what you're saying is, go ahead and put in the law that you are actually advocating separation immediately because there's a whole host of people out here in the world that are not taking
anything. I think that the people that should take it.
Right, but if they pass a law,
that's not
correct.
That's not curing it. That's not getting rid of it.
I agree with you, sir.
People is only temporary delaying it.
I agree with you, but what if
that's such a thing?
I agree with you. So what about the mandate? If you say that they should have a mandate, what about the people who don't want to take it? You saying that they should be made to take it?
I think they should. It's for the better for the majority than it is for the
minority. And does it even mean if there's a law locking people up, you still agree with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean,
I wouldn't say that they would necessarily need to be locked up, but they should have some sort of repercussions for not doing so.
Understood.
A lot of companies are going to saying that their employees must be vaccinated, especially like the healthcare companies, like Humana. All of their employees have to be vaccinated.
That's terrible.
And I think that's a good
even the
thing.
stay-at-home employees have to be vaccinated. That's terrible. Or lose their job.
Yeah, because they're going to have to come out in public sometime or another.
Once again,
you can't
people.
Always stay in the house.
Man, you know what's amazing is it's my body, my choice when it comes to aborting a baby fetus. But when it comes to injecting synthetic chemicals and ingredients in your body, it's people want to force people. You know, it's interesting how that works.
We appreciate your caller, sir, for calling in and discussing it with us, though.
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely. Thank you, caller. Appreciate that. I saw something that said, I saw something online. It said something like, a white man says, take the vaccine and we do it. You know, God says, oh, we got another caller. You know, God says, follow the commandments and we don't do it. It's interesting. All right, now is that my pops that's called in to the show? Caller?
Yeah, am I on? Go ahead, caller.
Yeah, you on. Yeah, Go ahead, sir. Who are you and what's your question or comment?
Well, it's not a question. It's more of I guess like an editorial. Last night, there was a football game at Butler High School between Butler and Western High School, and it.
Uh-oh, did you cut him off?
He'll call back.
Did you? Okay, all right.
Hey,
what's up,
your other host is on, Joe Booker. Your other host is on.
All right, we got the health coach, brother Joe Tapper Sr., who is on the line with us. How you doing there, Pops?
Fine. You okay?
Good. Welcome to the show. Now you know, we're perusing through a host of topics, and you know, you just heard a caller call in that talked about you know, how he believes.
Yeah, let me dovetail off of what that gentleman was talking about.
Yeah, go ahead.
I feel like they should not force the people to take the vaccine, but if somebody declines to take the vaccine, they should be able to sign some kind of form releasing them of treatment, because many people that are dying in the hospital now are people that have declined to take the vaccine, but now they're using up resources, and they're back on, Joe Booker. Your caller's back on. I've seen partners that have regretted not taking the vaccine, but now they're using up resources. And I think they should be able to sign off and say, hey, I don't want the vaccine, and if I get sick, I don't want to be treated. Let me die.
Or it's
well, that doesn't make sense to people who are paying into healthcare and paying for their health insurance. I think everyone should have a choice, just like everyone should have a choice with their body when it comes to abortion, which I think that's sad. However, I think this. I think saying that if I get sick, you can't treat me. Well, hell, what if I break my leg? I break my leg, I can't get treatment because I don't have vax. See, this is how we'll stretch it. And what we're going into is a communist state, and we're justifying it through the fear. We're allowing this justification through this fear that you say, well, other people got it and they're going to get it, and these people are dying and these people don't want to take it, so let's not let him have no health care if he signs a waiver. That creates even more division, and that doesn't help nothing in this case whatsoever. I'm paying it for my own insurance. My insurance company tell me, if my insurance company tell me, hey, if you don't take the vaccine, we ain't covering you. But if I get a break in my leg or something, that don't even make sense. Why am I paying this money monthly for my health coverage, and then if I break a leg, but it's because I ain't taking the COVID, they ain't gonna let me in the hospital? That don't even make sense.
Now, I'm not talking about people that have health insurance. Those people have health insurance. They paid for it. They can use it. But I'm talking about people that don't have health insurance, that are using up resources, that they decided they didn't want to take the vaccine. That's up to them. That's their choice.
Now
don't
real
give away
quick,
resources.
guys. I think we got a caller on the line. I think it was the gentleman who was on before. Caller, are you there? Caller.
Caller's on, Jay.
All right. Welcome,
Yeah, I got
welcome
cut
back
off
to the Tipping
before.
Point Morning Show.
Okay. Am I on?
Yes, sir.
Yes, you are. Go ahead, sir.
Okay. We got cut off earlier. What I wanted to discuss, change the script a little bit. I want to discuss the bad situation that we had last night at Butler High School, where there was a football game between Western and Butler High School. During the football game, it became a melee of young black kids, and I'm saying young black kids because that's what mainly they were, fighting out there. And what I'm getting at is the fact that, we often talk about police brutality. We talk about what white people are doing to us. But do we ever look at the fact of what we're doing to ourselves? Now, here we are, kids, good kids, go to a football game to watch a game, and there end up being 5 or 6 fights, chaotic situations going on. 4 or 5 days before that, you had the same situation at Pleasure Ridge Park School. You go to these malls, and the black kids tear the malls up. And, for so long, we've used white people as an excuse. But we need to start looking at our own children and do you know what your children are? Do you know what they're doing when they're out there? And we need to do a better job of raising our children now, because it's getting totally out of hand. The kid that brought the gun to school, he didn't bring the gun to school to actually hurt somebody. I don't believe. I think he bought the gun to protect himself because he was about to be attacked by 4 or 5 different guys. So that's what I wanted to discuss, to the point of we as a people and our own race, we're becoming like animals.
You're absolutely right, sir, and I definitely appreciate the calling in. I know here at the Tipping Point Morning Show, we definitely believe and agree. I think I could speak for myself and Brother John, y'all. We do need to look at ourselves. That is something that is to be said. As a matter of fact, I would encourage that caller. Caller, are you on the line now? Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah.
Can I ask you a question? What is your age, if you don't mind telling us?
I'm 73.
Okay, so you know all
I've
about.
I've seen it all. So I've seen the worst to where we're at. I was even one of those who was arrested on 4th Street back in the 60s in order for us to be able to sit down at the eating counters and eat. I was involved in that, and I've watched us go from forward, and now it looks like we're going backwards.
Exactly, and I think one of the ways to fix us going backwards, sir, you can do this yourself. Find a child out there. As soon as you see them acting up, just grab them and spank them. That's the biggest issue these days, is because you have I believe what's happened is you have young kids raising kids. You got kids raising kids, and that's what's happened is and then when you intermingle the music and the ratchetness of some of the music, and this is the mindset of people that are raising kids, it's not a good mix and whatnot. So now you have people, they don't want to spank their kids and whatnot. They'll yell at them, they'll scream at them, but they don't show them that bit of love right there. They don't give them a spanking or anything. And I think that for me, I never had to spank my kids like that. I did a couple times, but I didn't have to that much, because when I spoke, they did what I said. So I didn't have to go there all the time, because I inflicted that upon them when they were younger. And so I think as we've gone into this generation where you can't put your hands on your kids, this, that, and the other, man, I think everybody should go outside right now, find a kid and just spank them. That's
Listen, I got a question for that call.
What I'm saying also, but the other problem that we have is not as I watched the news last night with the kids. See, it's only 4 or 5 of them that usually lead. Even when I was a young kid, I used to follow too. I didn't do what they did, but I was in the crowd following, which created a large rioting type situation.
Now,
but
caller,
what I'm saying is that
we got another caller on the line. John, ask your question real quick.
Okay. Well, like I said, we got to do something pretty soon. We got to do something about these kids.
We got one last
question. Okay, yes, sir. We definitely agree with you on that. I had a question, but we kind of running out of time. But I hope you call back. I want to talk to you about the 70s, '60s, when you was coming up. I was born in the '60s, but I definitely want to talk. I want to talk to you about the time then and the time now. But please call us back next week if you can, sir.
And we got another caller on the line. Welcome to the Tipping Point Morning Show. Hello, caller. Are you there?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. All right. Well, Mike, I wanted to comment on something about the COVID and the shot. I definitely agree with you on the fact that you have to take the shot. You don't have to take it. You shouldn't be forced to take it. Because think about it. All of the other diseases that we've ever had, we never was forced like we are forced now. And I know that we've had some of the diseases that have come through was just as bad as the COVID, or more, or worse.
Oh yeah.
And to me, I'm thinking just that you got politicians, you got the doctors, the CEO over the hospital. They know that they can make money off of this COVID.
That's right.
Off of each patient. And so who out there, what black person, what white person can come out and say that all of these people is not motivated by money?
That's right.
Hey, the survival rate is the same as any other flu, pneumonia. Still 98% survival rate, same as any other.
Right, exactly. So I don't think I think this here. You got people sitting out there. It's like the caller came in. He's half information, man, and he's not getting the information that he needs to get.
Well, the first thing he said was according to the news. So if the only thing that you're looking at is the news on TV, and you're not going and doing any research yourself, folks, come on now. They tell us what they want us to know.
Come on now. Exactly. And I'm gonna tell you this here, one more thing, man, is that you got people that come in from other countries. They see how black people treat each other. Okay, they see how black people treat each other, man, and other people come over here and they don't have respect for black people because the way they act sometimes and the way the kids, it's just the way our morals are. They don't have respect for it, and so the thing is, I'm gonna back up here a little bit, but you got all these different motives. Just like they said they can't cure diabetes. I don't believe that. I believe that they got a cure for diabetes. If they can make if we can make military weapons as strong as they are, we can come up with a cure for. Yeah. And yet, I wanted to say this here, another thing too. I'm going to skip over that, but the thing is, I know people today. One of them is a military brother that he's in the military, and he said he took the virus shot, right? He took it, okay, and he still got it. I know people today that took that virus shot and they still got the virus, but they ain't telling. They're not telling you about that part.
Right. Definitely. We appreciate that, sir. Sharing it. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay, bro.
Well, appreciate you calling in, brother. And keep the fight going. Is there another caller on the line there, Jay? We all good? Okay. Real quick before we go, folks, we will continue. Okay. We will, is it gone? Okay.
I don't think so.
Okay, I got you. Sorry about that, folks. We had a little technical difficulty there. It happens sometimes. With that in mind, once again, I do want to give a big shout out to BB Toomey Trading Company, the home of Saya Baba and Soap Sticks products. They are in over 400 locations at a store near you. You can find them at sayababa.com. That's SYABABA.com. That's SYABABA.com. That is owned by yours truly, Brother John Ya. Once again, Health Daddy Wow. That's Health Daddy Wow.
I got a question to ask you.
Okay.
So yesterday was National Radio Day for DJ.
Okay. Yesterday was National Radio Day for DJs. All right. Shout out to all the DJs around the earth, whether you have a vaccine or whether you're vaccinated or not. Shout out to you. HealthDaddyWow.net, home of the 100% plant-based vitamins, herbs, cleanses, and teas. Folks, again, HealthDaddyWow.net. They're here to help you live longer, feel better, and look great. They are in Louisville, Kentucky at 1806 Ralph Avenue from Tuesday to Saturday, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m., Sunday, 12 noon to 5 p.m. Once again, HealthDaddyWow.net. All right. Make sure you check them out and let them know that the Tipping Point show sent you. All right. I don't know. Maybe they will give you a little bit of a discount. We'll see. But with that in mind, folks, we're coming to the end of the show, and we're going to continue the conversation just for a little bit online. So if you want to check us out on Facebook at the Tipping Point Radio Show, or the Tipping Point Show, you can do that. And we will continue the conversation there. You can also check us out on YouTube at hashtag the Tipping Point Morning Show as well. But one real quick, last words, Pops, go.
Well, I was saying when you guys dropped off, if we could raise our consciousness, if they taught meditation in school to focus on love and peace, I think that would just 1% of society would change the rest of society. That's the solution to the violence and the drugs and all these things.
Absolutely. John, real quick.
Listen, everyone, you need to pay close attention to your health. A lot of people are going, and if you can look at this information up, a lot of people who are going to the hospitals, they're telling them to take vitamin C, zinc, vitamin D3, and some magnesium. Well, guess what? You can get all that off. You can get all that out of your drugstores or your health food stores right now today. So take care of your health. Stop eating all that carcinogenic foods, which means fried food, overly fried food. Stay away from McDonald's. Hell, if I got to wear a mask just to keep you safe, I might as well start slapping McDonald's out your hand. So stay away from the McDonald's, stay away from the fried foods, and quit making excuses why you can't take care of your health while you're running around here wanting everybody else to take the vaccine. So everyone who doesn't want to take it, take care of your health. And those of you who have taken the vaccine, you still need to take care of your health and keep them McDonald's and chickens out your bank.
And real quick before we go, folks, once again, just do your research. That's all I'm going to say. Welcome once again. Thank you for listening to the Tipping Point Morning Show. This is your boy, Just Ask Joe, and John Yah signing out. We'll see you next week.
Peace.
All right. Okay, everybody can unmute, and let me get the sound right.
Hey, you guys drop. There go Joe again. He dropped.
There we go. You good?
Joe,
you good, Pops? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, both of you guys dropped off, and I had to continue the show all by myself.
Yeah, which was good.
Maybe I got my. Let me get this right. Boom. There we go.
There we go. Hold on, and
you are listening to The Tipping Point Show with your host, Mr. Just Ask Joe, John Yah. Right here on WLOU. Stream it live on Facebook and WLOUonline.com. And now, The Tipping Point Show.
Sideways, Joe.
Once again, we're back. Okay, so
you know what that should say? That should say you should throw that up there, and it should say the after show.
yeah, we'll have to put something together for that. Did you get the one that I sent for you?
Yeah, I did. I checked it out.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So, good conversation. Great Show. Love the call. Always love when callers call in, because it gives us and some insight to what the people are thinking, and at the same time, it's just good to talk to people out there. Shout out to Kari Muhammad. Great show, brothers. I have been washing dishes while listening and couldn't interact, but won't ever miss a week. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you.
I'm proud of that brother for washing dishes, man.
Exactly. Frank Stoddard, shout out to you once again, brother. That is Mr. Health Daddy Wow right there. And I think it's important, to turn off when somebody calls in, the first thing they say is, well, people should watch the news. I'm like, man, that if to be of any age and to not realize that you need to go further than just the news. The news might alert you to something, but you should definitely go and do some research on your own. And I think that's the biggest issue with this is people are to me, people aren't going and doing their own research. A lot of people are more so blindly just taking the information and running. But and that's not to, you know, and I'm not talking about people that are for or against. I'm just saying in general, you need to research things before you make that decision.
So we've been trained to do that from the beginning. You know, as a society, we've been trained from religion. Don't question authority. Accept what I say. Obey them that have rule over you. You know, so we take that out into our lives. We don't question authority. We accept what they're telling us and just be worker bees and drones and follow whatever they have to say.
Yeah, that's exactly where we are in society. And that's the sad part. It's almost as though you're watching a Twilight Zone movie of people just like plugged into some type of device that makes them think. And it's very interesting how we're living in a society where we have been so seriously dumbed down that people are confused. I listen to a lot of conversations every week. Of course, you know, whether I'm in this new thing that I'm doing with the Clubhouse and finding a whole different community out there. It just amazes me. What's interesting is that the frequency that I'm sending out, it is putting me into venues and situations that are like my frequency, that my frequency is in tune with. And it's so vibrant and so strong. Now, when I look at this other side of this lower frequency, I can see it clearly. I can see the fear. I can see, and, you know, and I hear the information, and I hear it quite differently because, see, I'm not educated, so I'm not indoctrinated. So I've always in my life, I'm a sixth grade dropout, if you want to know. And so I've never been educated. So I've never been indoctrinated to believe in whatever the government tells me. I've always used what is called, and I tell everyone this, I tell everyone to use an objective mind. The problem with most of us, we don't want to use an objective mind. And so even when I was in religion, as an imam, I always found myself in trouble because I use an objective mind. And when I say I use an objective mind, I'm going to throw some stuff out there. We're looking for a God. We're looking for the savior or some type of return person that's going to come, like the theory of Jesus, so bad that we're willing to put somebody on the pedestal who says they are a man of God, and we'll send them our daughter, we'll send them our money, and despite whatever it is they do wrong, we will still follow them. We will still believe in them without using an objective mind. I tell everyone, don't take everyone. We're talking about this situation about Polite, about these people who are bigger than life, so to speak, to people. And we take all of them and knowing, instead of taking piece of them, I take this, but I throw away that, right? And so this is the problem with people not using their objective mind. If you believe in God, God gave you the ability to object. I don't find no man on the planet or some dead historical man writing tradition in the past that is above me asking them a question or above me using my objective mind to question their thoughts. Okay, I don't believe that. I don't believe there's nobody above it. This is why you got failure in religion right now today, because of that main reason that continues to go on. People still send their kids to Catholic churches when there's boys being molested. They don't care, right? I mean, it's like you don't know what to do because you believe in that God fear theory. It's the same thing. So here we are now in government. Well, government tell you something, he's the big boogeyman and he's the God. He tell you, boom, you follow it and you do it. I think that's the problem. We have lost our common sense to use an objective mind.
Well, John, also with the book, why is it that we can't get information from any other book than this Bible that was put out by the Catholic Church? And people will tell me, well, it's not in the Bible. It's not in the Bible. There's many other books that have information, you know, and I quote from Daniel Webster, but I'm not a literary. So there's information everywhere. We can get information everywhere. You can get good information from the Bible. You can also get good information from other books. And people become so narrow-minded because we've been trained that way. We've been taught that way. Only believe what I tell you to believe. Don't question my authority.
Right.
So we just we all walk off the cliff. The blind lead the blind, and they just fall off the cliff. Time to wake up.
You know, and that's what I'm seeing. You know, I'm definitely in agreement with you, Pops. And you know, me and my Pops, we talk a lot about alien stuff. My Pops, my brothers, because to me, it's interesting how for so many years the government denied. Now this information is out there and everywhere. You can go look, you can go find information out there. And look, there's even an app, that shows you how to contact the aliens, which is interesting because it stems from that gentleman, from the Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind. But revolving around all of this, what I got out of that particular documentary, and what I'm getting out of all the other ones that I'm watching about aliens and everything like that, is that human beings on Earth need to focus on raising their consciousness, raising their vibration, because it's only then that you really start to get to see the secrets of the universe, in a sense, you know, because that's where aliens supposedly are tuned in. People who have been in Area 51 and all these other places where they have alien spaceships that have been shot down, things of that nature, what they're finding is that these aliens, the speed of light is slow. They're using the speed of thought, the speed of consciousness. So it just alludes to the idea, once again, that consciousness, raising your consciousness level, is of utmost importance, no matter what it is that you're doing, especially if you want to communicate with aliens.
But that would help society and help us grow as a race of people. A global race is raising our consciousness, because what is the opposite of that? Is our ego. And our ego is what's been destroying us. You know, I mean, you look at everything. You have 1% of society that controls 40% of the wealth. You know, everything is ego driven. If we took away ego, took away the value of all materialistic things, then we would all be equal. You know, so if we could raise our consciousness, focus on love. And I was thinking about that this morning, where I follow love. David said, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want." But yet, if you go into church, you hear people praying for what they want. Well, then the Lord is not your shepherd. But if the Lord is your shepherd, which the Lord is love, God is love, God is love. So I follow love, so I don't want. What do you mean I don't want? That I don't have any light or things are? No, I'm okay. I am okay because I trust in the system. I trust in the force. I trust in the creator. So I don't want. In other words, I'm grateful. If I want, or I say that I want, and I'm asking for something, what I'm saying is that what I have is inadequate. If I'm asking you for something, then that means what I have is not good enough.
And I'm not powerful enough to create that want for myself. And it's interesting when you say that, because, you know, Uncle Daniel brought this out, and you've repeated it. He talked about how, what came to mind when I heard this is, I wonder, you know, what's being thought about when people are sitting there praying for better health, like they're sick, right? They're, Lord, take me out of this, get me out of this bad health problem or this disease that I'm dealing with, get me out of this. And then you think about the idea of the God force universe turning around, looking at that person saying, well, you got yourself sick, why don't you get yourself unsick? You know, you did it yourself. You know, why can't you do it just the same? So, you know, it's just interesting how people, you know, somebody said that to me the other day about prayer, and I say, man, if prayer worked, my mom would still be alive. You know, if prayer worked, you know, but belief more so than anything else is what's of the utmost, and that has to be belief from the person who is sick, and belief from those around them in what they speak. So even with my friend right now in the hospital, we don't use the C word around her. We don't talk about we don't use the word cancer around her. The only belief is that she is doing well, working through this process, and she's going to be up and out of the situation soon. We have a vision. We put a vision in our minds of her speaking to a crowd of people outside, in public, speaking to a crowd of people. That's the vision that we all are focused on and having in our mind about her and her health. So what's up, brother? Health Daddy, brother Frank Stoner. I see you don't look like you at work today, man. What's going on?
I'm on my way, Joe. I just had to put my 2 cents in real quick on the show. Matter of fact, great show, fellas, as always. It seems like you are getting more and more popular. More and more people are listening. And
don't worry, man. Listen, just whatever you do, just don't worry. We have autographs for you, so you will always be able to get an autograph. Don't worry.
All right, I appreciate that. Can I just say something real quick?
Go ahead.
That really, it's really bothering me that the opposite opinion is not respected. It's like the people who have an opposite opinion in what mainstream or the mainstream people are talking about, they just don't care what is the opposition. Even, not to pick on that guy that called in, but the first thing he uttered out his mouth was according to the news. Now, what I wish you all had asked, and you probably wasn't thinking about it, is, have you got any other sources outside of the news? Because if that's what you're going by, brother, you're being misled, in my opinion. So then you want to spew everything. It was like a bot from the news. And what I was listening to. And
it was a Facebook bot.
And y'all had good questions for him, but they just fell on deaf ears. He didn't care. Yeah. And one thing I want to ask people is, does a 99.8 or 99.9 survival rate even matter? It doesn't even matter because of the fear. So why should a healthy body be shot up with anything? And just because we're opposite don't mean we're against your choice. As a matter of fact, I don't care what you do. It's not going to affect me one way or the other because you know what? I trust my immune system. And I don't care what you passing out, what you spewing, if you're a super spreader. They don't even matter to me.
That's right.
People look up potential hydrogen, body pH. That's what you should be focused on, not a piece of cloth over your face.
Yeah, because they've already discovered that the virus goes through the mask, the pores of the mask, and the particles are small enough to go through the pores of the mask. So, doctors and scientists have notated that, and it just seems to again fall on deaf ears, essentially.
Hey, listen to this. This is a drug that my doctor prescribed for me on Friday for COVID. It's ivermectin. Ivermectin. Okay. I looked it up and I'm gonna read what I learned. There seems to be a growing interest in a drug called ivermectin to treat humans with COVID-19. Ivermectin is often used in the U.S. to treat or prevent parasites in animals. The FDA has received multiple reports of patients who have required medical support and been hospitalized after self-medicating with ivermectin intended for horses. Here's what you need to know about ivermectin. FDA has not approved ivermectin for use in treating or preventing COVID-19 in humans. Ivermectin tablets are approved at very specific doses for some parasite worms, and there are topical on-the-skin formulations for head lice and skin conditions like rosacea. Ivermectin is not an antiviral, Like, what the hell did they prescribe this to me for?
Because here's the thing. I have it also. I have ivermectin, and I haven't used it. In fact, I had gotten it from a doctor online, and I got my a prescription from Walgreens, and it was labeled. It was labeled as a COVID prevention. Now, ivermectin has been around since the 70s. It has been approved from the FDA to treat viruses or stomach illnesses. Like when people go overseas, people who travel carry ivermectin with them in case they drank the water and the water makes them sick. It kills all kind of viruses. The problem is that and in South Africa is using it as also right now for COVID-19. They came across and found out that it gets rid of COVID. It prevents you from getting COVID. But at the same time, they still come back and tell you, because the doctor that prescribed this to me said, Ed told me, boost my immune system up, take vitamin C, you know, so I'm hearing the same information. And here's the thing, you mentioned frequency, Pops. It's very important about this thing called frequency, you know, and there are different levels of frequency. Okay, so I give you an example, as you are aware that when you have a positive thought, the vibration of the positive thought sends out a frequency and it connects with those other positive people or positive things to draw into your space. If you are happy, you draw happiness into your space. You don't draw things that's going to upset you or make you mad. These are frequencies. Okay. So right now, the greatest frequencies going on that's really got control is television, social media, Wi-Fi, news. These are frequencies, right? And so people are tuned into these frequencies and they're listening, and these frequency is powerful. This frequency is more powerful to the eyesight of people seeing than the frequency that is a telepathic communication frequency. The telepathic communication frequency is what I'm speaking about. That is the raw frequency. When you begin to think of someone, boom, and that person pops up, or you begin to have happiness and then happiness comes into your life. Those are frequencies, right? Those are more powerful, but because we've been so dumbed down, we have grabbed on to this type of frequency of the news, media, and this is how they control us. This is why BET, they spent $3.5 billion to buy a station that was only worth $600 million, right? Why is that? Because it was sending a frequency that was educating Black people away from the mainstream media, right? This happened right after, it's happened right after the Million Man March. If you think back when the Million Man March took place, BET was all over it, and the other mainstream media wasn't. And because of that, mainstream media jumped on, because why? They were watching where Black people were going, and they was watching and paying attention. So the Minister Farrakhan, the biggest hater in the country, is going to be the main speaker, and it's going to be all over the news. Well, that created a scare factor to Viacom, because they knew we have to control their frequency. So now this is why you hear the television stations for us are watered down. TV One is watered down. They ain't playing nothing but reruns and laughters and jokes. If you look at BET, they ain't playing nothing but ancient mammies or how to be a woman. How can man be a woman? And the music that you're listening to now, low frequency, telling people to take drugs or suck this, and all lower frequencies. There ain't none of that telling people like back in the day where music was a frequency telling you about what was going on, because actually hip hop was our church in a sense, giving us information. All that's been changed now to pump it in your booty, to taking Molly pills, right? Those are frequencies that are sent out that we're not paying attention to. And kids are hearing that frequency and they're following it. And this is the problem. This is what makes things go viral, and this is what makes things popular. When a rapper talks about a certain drug or something, that drug becomes very popular all over the country, right? Because people start talking. And this is where that frequency comes from. And that is a frequency that we are tuned into. And unfortunately, that's a bigger frequency.
I just hope that I never ever hear that song "Pumping in Your Booty." I don't want to hear that song at all, bro.
let me say this before I leave, because y'all know I got work to do. But just getting back to the brother real quick, who he actually thinks that people should be locked up I mean, that's what he said. And then he came back and said, no, I didn't say that. So actually, I don't think he really knew he said that. But he said that. He said that we should be locked up if we don't go along with what mainstream is talking about. And I found that is sad. And I really don't think he has a conscious mind, because you kept asking him and he said, no, ain't what I said. That, brother, you on tape. I mean, you said that. But that's not my point. My point is, why can't we have an opposite opinion? Why can't I do what I want to do with my body? As you said, Joe, it's perfectly fine when it's my body, my choice. But somehow when it comes to this, you don't want me to have control over this. I'm going to, somehow infect you with something that I don't even have. And lastly, let me say this. Is there truly a test out here that says you have this thing? Does it come back and say, okay, you have this? Or does a test read something's off within your body? Because there's no test out there, and I don't care what anybody says, there's no test out there that says you have the C word. It does not pinpoint what you have. So this and the new thing they got out now. So what they are doing, they are guessing what you have. It could be the flu, which has disappeared. It could be a common cold, which has disappeared. Everything is this. And we just have to wake up and realize that everything is not this. If you get and it is proven, you get a gunshot wound to the head and die, they're going to say you have this thing. And
but that's already happened plenty of times.
I know.
What was it down in Florida where people were standing in line and they decided to get out the line to get tested, but then later they got something in the mail saying that they were positive, and they were like, "Dude, I didn't even take the test. All I did was sign up."
Listen,
I didn't take the test.
I tell you, Mishan really came in and Mishan, and I could hear it in Mishan's voice. He's scared, and I get, and everybody should be scared. You should be scared of what's going to take place because 6 months from now, 6 months, a year to 5 years from now, it's going to tell. And whether your body has mutated into something else, there are women right now having heavier periods, having from 3 days normal periods to 10 days periods right now today because they're taking the test. Then you don't know how your child's going to come out.
Taking the vaccine,
you don't have a clue from a year, 6 months to a year from now, what's going to take place when this lowers your immune system. And they're talking a booster to lower your immune system even more. I mean, I get to the point to where we done rush to something and we're going to look back. And I guarantee you, people are going to be saying, hey, maybe I should have just waited, because that's the case.
Oh, John, this could be, and something may not even happen in a couple of years. This could be a scare tactic to another divide. What they're counting on, can y'all still hear me?
Yeah.
What they're counting on is we take each other out. They can't do it, but they're counting on us divided so much to where we take each other out. We fight each other over this. And I'm going to tell you, I'm not fighting over this. I don't care what you do. And it's your body, and I respect that. But leave me the hell alone. Leave me the fuck alone and my family about taking something I don't want to. And I'm going to leave it at that.
Well, Health Daddy.
With respect, I appreciate y'all letting me come on. And until next week.
Health Daddy.
Yes, sir.
One thing that has resulted, and John Yaw, you know this as well, people are starting to become aware of boosting their immune system. They're coming to you and they're asking you, what can I do to boost my immune system? Because that news has gotten out also.
Yes,
so
sir.
That's a good thing.
Finally.
Yeah.
Man, you start telling people that you profiting off of this thing too, man. They gonna put you in that category of people. You profiting off of this? What?
Yeah.
People don't care. People want to build their immune system now. They've heard that's the answer.
Exactly, and that's why the sales for vitamin C, zinc, are going up. Not the price is going up, but they're selling more of it now. And it's a hot thing. And if you want to invest, maybe you should find you a nice company that you can invest in that is promoting that. Health Daddy, he is also, business is picking up because of people under that fear and saying, hey, let me build my music. And like you said, Pops, that's a great thing, because now people are starting to say, hey, I need to do something for my health. And so just like we're talking about what you need to stop eating, people are now kind of listening a little more now. They're like, what he's saying? Y'all said that's cool. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So matter of fact, they keep saying cases are getting high cases, but they're not saying deaths. They're not saying that. And one thing they don't preach is boost your immune system. And if you get it, 99.9% chance you will survive. And that's what I preach. Chances are you will survive. So
to me, just that alone right there says that something's wrong.
Something's wrong, man.
But just the fact that they don't promote the survival rate, which should be the thing that they promote as much, just that right there lets you know that something's not right.
That's right.
Because the survival rate should be the most important thing that we're focusing on. Yet it's not. It's not what's in the forefront, and you're hard pressed to find that unless you go digging. But it's interesting, man. But Frank, you got all the watermelon over there, so that's you got the one with the seeds.
Yeah,
are you getting those from a farm somewhere?
Yeah, I got a buddy, Egg in the city. He go finds them and bring them in, and they are local.
Steven?
Yeah. And they are local. Them things only last 2 days because people are they getting hip, and they know that watermelon is high in vitamin C, potassium, electrolytes, everything is going to boost the pH, and they beginning to understand that now, and that's the way they want to go, because people, even if you do get it, beat it, baby. And that's all I say. Beat this thing. You're nothing more powerful than your immune system. The only thing that's going to tax your immune system or make it worse is the fear that they preach on TV every day, the scare tactics. So that's why I say turn that off, live your life, and be grateful that you've made it. You've made it this far,
man.
Okay, you're going to be all right.
You got to see the end of the world. You made it this far.
That's right. Okay, fellas, I gotta go. I appreciate y'all.
All right, brother.
Appreciate you.
Joe, I'm getting ready to cut out too in a minute. I got to run up and get myself ready for Cincy.
Yeah, just the same. I'm getting ready to cut out because I got this cooking event, and I got to be there at 10. I'm an hour behind you guys. But that watermelon, man, cleansing your bloodstream. That's a good thing. That raw fruits and vegetables in general, that'll have you playing that Pump Your Booty song with your wife or whatever that you talking. But any last words real quick?
No, I think I said it all based upon your immune system. Also, one of the things I did forget was I came across an article about a doctor who was refusing to take any patients that has not taken the shot. All right. That's another one that's scary and ugly as hell.
That's happening too. People are barely getting in the hospital for the normal things that they need to do because of not being vaccinated. And, it really just points to the idea that you need to educate yourself and you need to focus on your own health.
What about that guy that refused to bake a cake for a gay couple?
Yeah.
Is that the same thing? This doctor refused to take. Where's the kickback?
Right. Yeah. But I'm like this, don't fear, because there's a whole host of doctors out there that will take you, and there's a whole host of doctors out there that don't believe in the vaccine and they're not taking the vaccine. Just like my daughter, I did not raise my daughter to take no vaccine, by the way. She's 28 years old. She's doing perfectly fine. I raised her. We used, back then you were able to use an exempt form. to send your child to school without taking any vaccination. So I've been a person who didn't believe in it from the very start. My grandbaby don't take it, but my grandbaby would be homeschooled. I wished I would have homeschooled my daughter. But however, with that said, even my daughter's doctor, which is a black doctor from the Caribbeans, I've had a doctor for my daughter, and I used the same doctor for my grandbaby, Dr. Osborne, and she was cool with everything that I was saying, and she agreed with me on the shot, and so she was cool with that. But now we're getting into this new thing. There is no exemption form for this, right? And so now she's pressured. Because here's why she's pressured. She's pressured because she accepts those funds that people are on for assistance, right? She wasn't on to taking no funds, because if I go to a holistic doctor, which practices, and he can write prescription, he practices holistic and Western medicine. He can't take insurance. So you got to go pay him cash, right? And so that makes the difference in trying to find you a healthcare doctor, because right now people was hit me up. What do you do if your doctor and you don't want to have your child taking a shot? And I said, you're gonna have to find you a private doctor, a private pediatrician for your baby that doesn't believe in shots. It's just that simple. And because that's where we're going now. And there are some doctors out here that will take your child in, but some of them are in certain counties in Kentucky you got to drive to get to. So it's really up against this medical discrimination now, which is what we're going up against now, where people are starting to saying we're not going to help you, or we're not going to assist in aiding your illness because you ain't taking this vaccine. And I think that's where we're going. But like I said, there's a whole lot of doctors not doing it. You got to find them. They'll still take you, and they'll still take patients that don't take the vaccine.
Yep.
I think they should put you in jail if you don't take the shot.
Huh?
I think they should put you in jail if you don't take the shot.
I think they ought to put the people in jail who have taken the shot, because they consider them the super spreaders. They ought to round them up, put them in the FEMA camps, and let them go ahead on and breathe on each
why
other.
don't we all just go to jail? How about that? That way we ain't got to worry about it.
Ron Paul said they can't lock us all up. He said they can't lock us all up, so let's all just rebel. And yeah, I agree with that.
What's
they let
interesting?
people out of jail because of COVID. It's so too crowded. They letting them out.
Hashtag Bill Cosby.
Oh, God.
All right, fellas, I appreciate y'all, man.
All right, see y'all.
All right, see y'all later.
Peace.